Adults can't expect to cozy up to an activist movement that regularly calls for a friend's assassination, then assert their right to the former friend's love. Emma is rightly free to disagree with me and indeed to discuss her feelings about me in public, but I have the same right, and I've finally decided to exercise it. I mean, mic drop, Stuber Gear. She could not have said this more perfectly, better, more powerfully, or more in a more damaging way for Emma Watson. So did Daniel Radcliffe. He should not escape this either. He was just as disgusting to her. And you know those were the ones that burned. As J.K. Rowling was dealing with death threats and having to amp up her security to protect her family, those are the ones she was thinking about, because we wouldn't even know Emma Watson's name if it hadn't been for J.K. Rowling.
After J.K. Rowling's explosive clapback following years of being thrown under the bus by Emma Watson, the internet is on fire with reactions. And let's be honest, most people are cheering Rowling for finally putting Watson in her place. Leading the charge is Megyn Kelly, who's never been one to hold back when it comes to woke nonsense. Her response was as bold and fiery as ever. This entire showdown is cultural chaos at its finest, and there's plenty to unpack. So buckle up. Things are about to get intense.
So J.K. Rowling, after years of holding her tongue, years of just letting these brats run around attacking her, has finally shot back. And it is scathing. It is beautiful, and it is clearly written by someone who's made $1 billion plus.
Right from the start, Megyn Kelly made it clear that J.K. Rowling's scorching takedown of Emma Watson was pure fire, emphasizing that Rowling didn't hold back or soften her words, going straight for the jugular with a response that was anything but half-hearted. It was a full-scale literary assault, the kind of razor-sharp rhetoric only a master wordsmith with decades of experience and millions of book sales could deliver. Rowling has always used language like a weapon, and this time she unleashed it with surgical precision, leaving scorch marks that reverberate across the culture wars, a ferocity Kelly couldn't help but admire. And if you're wondering what exactly pushed Rowling to fire back at Watson, watch this clip.
I really don't believe that by having had that experience and holding the love and support and views that I have mean that I can't and don't treasure Jo and the person that I had personal experiences with. I will never believe that one negates the other.
Here's the context for the clip you just saw. Emma Watson recently appeared on Jay Shetty's podcast, sharing thoughts on her life, career, relationships, and what the future might hold. Then came the moment everyone's talking about. J.K. Rowling's name came up. Instead of repeating the usual anti-Rowling talking points, Emma seemed to backtrack, almost apologizing for years of criticism, even saying she still loved Rowling and calling her a friend. But Rowling wasn't having it. She fired back with one of the sharpest, most scathing verbal takedowns in recent memory, a fiery reminder that apologies don't erase the sting of betrayal.
The greatest irony here is that had Emma not decided in her most recent interview to declare that she loves and treasures me, a change of tack I suspect she's adopted because she's noticed full-throated condemnation of me is no longer quite as fashionable as it was.
J.K. Rowling simply can't be fooled, and that's what sets her apart. She sees the bigger picture. Wokeness is faltering, and many celebrities are now scrambling to align with reality. Emma Watson's sudden change of tone could mean she's finally realizing the harm caused by blindly supporting the trans agenda and is quietly backtracking. Or it could just as easily mean she knows parading woke slogans isn't trendy anymore and is trying to save face. Whatever Emma's true motives are, we may never know. But one thing is certain. Rowling isn't impressed by half-hearted apologies or image-saving moves. She's sharp enough to spot insincerity from miles away and refuses to be fooled.
Adults can't expect to cozy up to an activist movement that regularly calls for a friend's assassination, then assert their right to the former friend's love. Emma is rightly free to disagree with me and indeed to discuss her feelings about me in public, but I have the same right, and I've finally decided to exercise it. I mean, mic drop, Stuber Gear. She could not have said this more perfectly, better, more powerfully, or in a more damaging way for Emma Watson.
J.K. Rowling's final statement was nothing short of epic, sharp, unapologetic, and full of truth. Here's the reality. The woke mob doesn't get to control all opinions. Everyone has the right to speak their mind, and those voices deserve respect, even if they clash with the narrative of self-appointed moral authorities. Time and again, the woke crowd demands to be heard, preaching inclusivity and tolerance, yet the moment someone disagrees, they lash out with venom and cancel campaigns. It's hypocrisy at its finest, and Rowling cut through it with surgical precision, reminding the world that free thought cannot and will not.
My favorite line, I wasn't a multimillionaire at 14. I lived in poverty while writing the book that made Emma famous. Oh my God. It's so effective. Yeah. It's so good. F this woman and her betrayal of J.K. Rowling when J.K. Rowling needed a friend, when she could have used just silence. If Emma Watson disagreed so mightily, and by the way, I don't believe she did. I believe she went along with the woke mob, just like all these actors do. There's no way she actually believes a man can become a woman. It's scientifically proven he cannot. And so even just her silence would have been something, but she joined in.
Megyn Kelly is absolutely right. Emma Watson could have taken the high road, respected her relationship with J.K. Rowling, and stayed silent if she disagreed with her views. After all, Rowling is the woman who gave her the opportunity of a lifetime, launching her into global stardom as Hermione Granger. Basic loyalty or gratitude would have meant keeping criticisms private. Yet Watson couldn't resist, repeatedly taking shots at Rowling, joining the chorus of the woke mob, and revealing where her true allegiances lay. Instead of defending or quietly respecting the woman who shaped her career, she publicly betrayed her. And that's what stings most. Rowling gave her everything, and Watson chose pandering over principle. Kelly nailed it. Watson burned a bridge she never should have touched.
So did Daniel Radcliffe. He should not escape this either. He was just as disgusting to her. And you know those were the ones that burned. As J.K. Rowling was dealing with death threats and having to amp up her security to protect her family, those are the ones she was thinking about, because we wouldn't even know Emma Watson's name if it hadn't been for J.K. Rowling.
Megyn Kelly didn't stop at Emma Watson. She went further, extending her verbal evisceration to Daniel Radcliffe. Radcliffe has repeatedly distanced himself from J.K. Rowling, throwing subtle jabs and occasional outright swipes whenever cultural debates heated up. And to Megyn, that behavior was just as unforgivable as Watson's. After all, Rowling is the architect of the world that made both Watson and Radcliffe household names. Without her imagination, there would be no Hermione, no Harry, and no multi-million-dollar franchise to launch them into fame. Yet instead of showing loyalty, Radcliffe followed the predictable path of pandering to the woke crowd. Megyn didn't hold back, emphasizing that Rowling's success built the very stage Radcliffe stands on, delivering a blistering reminder that biting the hand that fed you is the ultimate act of ingratitude.
Honestly, like this, you must call out your dear friend out of obligation, or you're a bad person, or you somehow endorse every thought they have. Unless you publicly attack your friend, you're responsible for all that person's thoughts and opinions is absurd. And I will just say, it goes on to this day. And it's wrong. It's deeply wrong. And shame on Emma Watson for bowing to the mob. Good for J.K. Rowling for calling her out. I am clearly on the Rowling team.
Megyn wasn't expecting J.K. Rowling and Emma Watson to suddenly find common ground on anything. Knowing these are two very different women with very different mindsets, Rowling has always stood firm, refusing to bow to political correctness, while Watson has often sided with the loudest voices in the woke mob. That's why, to Megyn, Emma's sudden shift felt deeply hypocritical, publicly joining the mob to attack the very woman who launched her career, only to later claim she still loved Rowling and saw her as a friend, was the height of contradiction. Megyn called it exactly what it was, a desperate attempt to rewrite history and salvage her image. Because loyalty isn't something you discard when convenient, and pretending otherwise only makes the hypocrisy shine even brighter.
When Hollywood big mouths suddenly want to be reasonable. No wonder the ancient Greeks considered their profession even lower than telemarketers. But Rowling took that olive branch and used it to smack Emma upside her head. To her, Emma is only coming out because it isn't fashionable anymore. So she's changing her tune like a schizophrenic at karaoke.
Gutfeld is firmly on Rowling's side and isn't buying Emma Watson's sudden softening, suspecting that Watson hasn't truly changed her views on trans issues at all. Instead, he points to the cultural shift happening right now. Attacking anyone who doesn't fall in line with the trans community is no longer fashionable, and the mob mentality that once earned applause is losing steam, with many celebrities starting to notice. To Gutfeld, Watson's apology looks less like a genuine change of heart and more like calculated damage control, all about image, not integrity. He believes Emma is simply pandering to Rowling, trying to repair her reputation as the tides turn. In his eyes, this isn't reconciliation, it's opportunism, and Rowling, as sharp as ever, isn't about to be fooled by a Hollywood performance disguised as sincerity.
Remember, Rowling was smeared as anti-trans back when that was as unsafe as having unprotected sex with Hunter Biden. But JK stood her ground, while the cast of the franchise she created trashed her. Watson, Daniel Radcliffe, Ron Weasley, they all rode her coattails, making unimaginable wealth at a young age. And when Rowling could have used their support, they chose the mob instead. They had a chance to show the courage of the characters they played, but instead, they sided with the bad guys.
Anyway, full credit to J.K. Rowling for standing her ground and never bowing to the mob, refusing to retreat despite relentless attacks, death threats, and cancellation attempts for questioning the trans movement. While most celebrities crumble under even minor backlash, Rowling remained steadfast, proving that conviction and courage still matter in a world driven by fear and conformity. Remarkably, none of this outrage hurt her career. Her book sales stayed strong, her movies still drew audiences, and in many ways, the mob's fury only boosted her influence. The backlash didn't silence her. It amplified her cultural relevance, even at the cost of her peace of mind. Throughout it all, she remains a symbol of resilience, a fearless voice who chose truth over popularity, and to many, she's more than an author. She's a hero. This saga isn't just about Emma Watson's shaky apology or Megyn Kelly and Gutfeld weighing in. It's about Rowling's unshakable resolve. She's shown that standing firm against the mob may cost peace of mind, but it won't cost success, relevance, or respect. While Watson's flip-flop exposes the hypocrisy of Hollywood stars who chase trends over principles. Love her or hate her, Rowling stood tall when it mattered most, and that's why she's still standing today. And that brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this.